Right, so the first project, you've got two projects, Santa Rosa, and you've also got the North Dasmariñas, nice houses there for 5 million, 4.5 to 5.3 million. How about like, what are the opportunities of building, again, social relevance for OFWs, apartments in the middle of an area where you normally have houses? Now you have something called MRB, mid-rise buildings. Florian, can you talk to me about MRB?
Yes, sir. We will be having also a project again in Santa Rosa, which is which called as mid-rise residential building.
Okay.
The first, it's a 6 buildings around the area, but then we will be building one building right now. So the first building will be, is it 10 stories, ma'am?
Yeah.
10 stories, and then with so much amenities, they will cater most probably the unmarried, local
Single.
single, local employees. Well, yes.
So local business people, and I guess a lot of BPO
Yes.
and call center
probably.
people. So how large would these apartments be, Anna?
As Florian told us, it will be comprising of 6 buildings. And then it's the mid-rise buildings. The first building is going to have is the 10-story. What good about this mid-rise development? We're going to give in a different lifestyle again. Instead, the buyers will be looking at developing their own property, comparing to owning a house, living in an apartment or condominium. The developers giving them the good amenities.
Right.
Because you're in a condominium setup, you're buying the space. And then it is a kind of lifestyle that we call it the lock and go.
Lock and go?
Yes. It's a low maintenance, owning a studio type or a
Right.
1 bedroom.
Yes.
You don't need to have a maid to live with you. You can probably clean your own unit and then go. That's it.
I have an opportunity for somebody. The call centers that are going to be built in your area, they're not only going to be in Makati and BGC, trust me, right? I know you have a big call center in Santa Ana for 2,000.
Santa Rosa.
Santa Rosa, sorry, Santa Rosa.
You're looking at Anna, that's
yeah,
why.
no, that's right. But you have a big call center, BPO center there with PESA facilities, right? And that's going to be for 2,000 seats, up to 2,000 seats. It's huge, right? So again, those people that will work there, if they don't live near there, they'll need housing near there. So some of these companies might buy houses for their staff and like rent back, sale and
As
rent.
part of benefits.
As part of the benefits, you see, that's another opportunity. So you may find that with your MRBs, that some of these companies might buy 10, 20, 30 of these units.
Yes.
It's an idea, an opportunity, I don't know. So these will, what do the MRBs sell for? What's the price range of the mid-rise residential
Well,
building?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I hope it's really right. We're going to start at 1.5.
1.5. So 1.5, and that's how many square meters you get for that?
It's about it will range from studio type.
Yes.
It's going to have a 25 square
meter,
meters
right.
and up to the 2 bedrooms, I think. And there's also the combined units. You
Right.
combine 2 studio units and then come up with a 50 square meter unit.
Yes, because I think that's the type of, and then local business people. That's the
Yes.
market for these places. Often if you travel, you don't want a garden. So if you got the MRB building, it's maintained,
Yes.
right? So that's another thing that people like for apartments. But there's a new thing, because most of these apartments, typically you'll find in Makati or BGC. So for Santa Rosa to do it, that's a new thing. So you're innovative here, in my opinion. Right?
Yeah,
so
yeah. We're really answering the needs of this time it's about the young generation needs. As you
Absolutely.
said, the
Yeah.
BPOs.
Yes.
We're teaching these employees from the BPO industries to invest, to rightly invest on a property. Most of the cases, if I'm not mistaken, these employees, most of the time, just buying new cell phones. If an iPhone comes out, they're going to have it. But owning a property, it's less of their, I think, a priority. We have to teach each employees
Yes.
to dream.
Have to dream, aspire
Yes.
to get to the top. That's your slogan, to aspire,
Yeah.
which is a very nice slogan. Going back to OFWs, because OFWs is a very important market that I don't think is being addressed properly, how they save their money and invest their money. So I believe that if you're working with OFW family and people like that, they can perhaps push a lot of potential clients your way. And you could also help them, I guess, in what they're doing in their aspects, because it's kind of a new thing. It's not been around for that long. And I think the opportunity for you guys to work together with the banks, insurance companies, is huge. So that when the OFW goes overseas, and let's say they earn 30,000 pesos a month, 10,000 goes to, or 12,000 goes to a house, then they have their bills, they're left with a little bit of money to live locally, that they don't need much. They often get food included in their rates, and then they have maybe some savings or send some money home, but at least they have the house. So when they come back, the house will have appreciated in value. And the other thing that might be interesting to do is the people, the OFWs that go overseas, their families back home here, they could also be doing something useful. I mean, the kids go to school, of course, but if there's a partner here without a job, you could perhaps do vocational programs, livelihood programs for those people who are here. So I hope that people like, and I know you are going to do that DDC Land will look at projects, potentially look at projects like that, together with people like OFW Family, to train some of the people here and just do a few target projects, find out what would be something that's not too expensive to start with. Because a lot of the problems people have initially is startup costs, because they're high. So that's also part of the giving back to the OFW, who give a lot for here. Right? The OFW sacrifice a lot. For years and years and years, they're overseas. They don't see their family. They don't want to go overseas. They want to work here. But there are not sufficient opportunities here today for them to stay here. This is why they go overseas. And the most sought after OFWs are Filipinos, because they're honest, they speak English, they work hard, right? That's been my experience, having lived all over the world. So you've targeted a good market. You just have to make sure that they get help, spend their money wisely.
Probably we really need to teach or to educate the OFWs for them to realize their aspirations to have a property.
So some of the other properties that you're going to be working on, like I mentioned General Trias already, that's affordable housing.
Yes.
Then you also have some townhouses that are going to be built, BF Homes in Parañaque or
It's upscale, or the upscale market.
Will they be townhouses? I know they're not ready yet, but would they be townhouses?
We're really considering to develop it into townhomes.
Yes. So they would have what do you call it, CCR? Is it CCR?
No, it's the CCT, Condominium Certificate of Title.
That's
We're also considering that. It's still in the planning stage. So we can invite also the foreigners to own the property, because definitely, as one of the rules in the law, in owning a property, foreigners cannot have a house and lot here.
They can't own the land. That's
yes,
correct.
one. But through the CCT, the Condominium Certificate of Title, they can own it.
Okay. So how many townhouses are they planning to build in the BF Homes area? 100?
I think less than.
Less than, 50 or 60, something like that. Okay. That'd be an interesting opportunity. Very different. It's very diverse. Huh? You have affordable housing. That's your main market. But you also have Tagaytay at the top coming in the future, which will be the high-end ones. And then you've got the MRBs, which is very different, apartments in the housing area. Then you have BF Home townhouses. So really exciting times for your company.
We invest.
And very diverse. And the thing is, whoever gives will get back. So if you help the OFW will help you. They'll refer people to you, I guess. So a lot of marketing things have to happen. DDC Land is readily building its brand. It was named a super brand. Maybe you can talk about that, Florian, about super brand status of DDC Land.
We're
Appointed super brand.
We were able to acquire, to become a member of the super brand.
Yep.
We already have the certificate and the plaque.
Yes.
We're so happy to be.
And how many
have the seal of excellence.
How many other development companies, housing development companies, have super brand status?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I think we're the only one.
You're the only one, correct?
I don't know the criteria, but I'm really proud to say that because of our quality, We were able to have the seal of excellence of Super Brand.
Yes, I think the integrity is the most important thing, which you got. We have integrity and quality. You have that, and longevity, because you've been going on for more than 25 years,
Yes.
which is a long, long time in this business. So that's very good. I think that's exciting. But I think the most exciting thing is the potential market you have with all the new OFWs coming. Because if you really target that market, right, with people like Royce Senieres, OFW family, I think my view is you will obtain a lot more sales.
With the OFW family, I really want to top them as being one of our market, because one way we will going to have it, we're going to help them to realize again and again. I was telling with Mr. Senieres about once you help the OFWs to aspire, to dream, to have their own property, by guiding them, to educate them with the right investment.
Right.
And then one of the problems of the OFW experiencing is because the wives,
Yeah.
they left the wives without anything, or probably unaware of what to do next. They're just expecting to receive the remittances monthly.
Right.
But probably, I do hope that the OFW family will teach them to, as you said, to come up with a livelihood, to reinvest again their monthly remittances.
The membership is only 100 peso for 2 years. And the benefits they get when they're overseas, if they have a problem, they're substantial. So I think it's important that is a good thing to do. And they work very hard to help the OFWs overseas. And they need help at times, especially in certain countries, which shall remain nameless. But there are certain countries more difficult to live in, to work in, than in others.
I think the OFW family is a non-profitable organization.
Yes.
If you're going to be a member, definitely they are not after to earn.
No.
They are really after to help.
They're after to help, and that's the most important thing. And we also, together, all of us, are trying to help the OFWs have the most comfortable life, invest their money as wise as they possibly can. I think that's very important, because a lot of it is wasted. I would not like to see that, because they have family here, everything else.
Sacrifice.
So sacrifices were made by the OFWs, so they have to make a decent return on what they're earning. So tell me something else about your company. What else is happening that's exciting?
Well, as you said a while ago, aside from owning the Super Brand Seal of Excellence
Yes.
plaque or the award, we also, I think the Garden Plaza Mall
Yes.
just recently accepted the special
That's a-
certificate.
Yes.
That's why we are also inviting BPO's company to come in our Santa Rosa project, because our mall is PESA accredited.
And there is so little call center space, large call center space available. It's very difficult for the convergences of this world to find new space without just buying land and building their own place on it. And they cannot do that. Makati is just too expensive. So you don't actually need to be a Makati to be a BPO or call center. You can be anywhere, right, as long as you're online. So a lot of these companies are moving outside of their normal territory. So I think that's an opportunity you have in Santa Rosa, where you have this fantastic big site. My guess is it won't be long until somebody takes that site. Right? And then you can grow again. Maybe you can do the same thing in General Trias.
Yes.
But it just depends on the telcos, if they have the fiber optic links that go down there. I don't know. You have to ask your boss to check that out. That's very
In
important.
Cavite area?
Cavite area. Because that's just, if you look at the Cavite area where you're going next, I mean, there is a fantastic big space there which belonged to the Lyceum, the Laurel family, which have a hotel there.
Laurelo.
You're very near there. Your land is
Yeah,
quite
the
close to that.
project is here.
And they're also going to build, people are planning to build like Greenbelt type shopping malls there. So if you have like 10,000 new houses there, they're going to have to shop somewhere. So there'll be a really big new development, like North Dasmariñas has become. And I think Molino's like that now. Although these new areas are setting up. And you've got lots of new roads being built, so you can get into the city should you need to. But a lot of the time you
So-
don't need to. You can stay out there.
So the development is really parse out.
Yes, that's what's happening. It's going down there. So I think that's very important. But the most important thing about today's discussion really is the OFW, how to make sure he doesn't waste his money and spends it well. Because you can't force them to invest, but you can ensure that they do as good a job as possible with their money that they have. right?
Probably we can invite them.
Yes.
The
Will you have
OFW.
open houses for OFWs? You planning that?
Aside from joining the events from
Yes.
Pag-ibig or probably with the OFW family,
Yes.
we also have the website. Can you state the address so they can check the
For
project?
further information, just kindly visit www.ddcland.com, or you may call us at 551-8888, and you may email us at marketing@ddcland.
Yeah, they can have the live chat there, ask
Yeah.
questions about our project, our present project, the upcoming, and the developments also.
So you got so many things up and coming. So within 5 years, I guess all these projects will be finished.
Yes, I hope so.
And there are all types of new opportunities where OFWs like to move to. One of them is, for instance, I've heard in Clark. They're building the second largest city in the Philippines, near Clark somewhere. You don't have to be the first in, right? Because that's sort of we call it, there's pioneers don't necessarily make money. Right? So you can watch somebody else be the pioneer and follow. That's another area that's growing very quickly. That area. The roads are being built, infrastructure is being made, finally, it's being made correctly. So the OFWs, they come from all over the country,
Yes.
right? They don't only want to live in, let's say, Santa Rosa. So when you start expanding your business, there may be other areas where you find a whole new range of OFWs who would like to live in that area, because they typically don't leave their home. They target
The
areas,
localized market.
localized market, right? They won't, for instance, come from Lawag and then buy a house in Cavite, because the families
Definitely.
up in Lawag. So as the opportunities arise, and know that your boss is quite open to where he invests if the market's there. Right?
Definitely, they're also considering that.
Yeah, so that's the case with all the builders, really. So the importance is that you as a company are working closely with the OFWs, with the Pag-ibig and the banks to make sure the investment is made. You're just part of that investment, all right? And just make sure that the best is done to enable the OFWs to get the best bang for their buck, as it were. And it's not in Ginebra and things like that. So that's very wise, very important, I think, right? That they do that, make the most of it. So I would really say that you're working very hard, which is very good, and that things are progressing very quickly, all these projects. And I think that Florian has been very, very busy building marketing, and then the brand has to be built. But first, the marketing has to go in. You cannot build a brand until the marketing investment has been made. This is a big thing that people are trying to say to me. Make sure that they make the marketing investment before you can actually push the brand. In the meantime, what you get is awareness. Everywhere you go, you get the awareness. You're already getting that. People talk to me about DDC Land, right? They never did before, right? They don't even know who's working with, who's assisting DDC Land. So it's very important that you make the awareness keep going, the marketing impetus, just get as much marketing mileage as you can out there, and keep the quality up and integrity up. So when people talk about your company, they look at you up. You may not be the biggest,
Yes.
but you're the best, simply the best. And you have
Thank
to
you.
keep pushing hard and make sure people know that the concrete, solid concrete that you have, which is not concrete blocks, the solid concrete that you're building with, is a big difference to the stability of the house, for earthquakes,
Yes.
for typhoons. So when the OFW is in, say, for example, Kuwait, or on the ship somewhere, reads about this massive typhoon that has hit, that his family is safe in a house where the windows haven't blown in, where the walls haven't fallen down, right? To me, that's very, very important.
Yeah, the
That you can
quality.
quality, and that his investment will stay. So that's very, very key, and I know you're working hard on that. So I would say, working. What would you like to add before we end the show? Anything you'd like to say?
Aside from all those things, I would like just to state again that with the OFW, probably you can consider our project or our company that we at DDC Land, this is our aspiration
Okay.
to serve the Filipino OFWs out there
All
who
right.
don't know yet how to invest. With us,
Yeah.
we're going to teach you from day one of the reservation until you have your own house.
Florian, how about you? 10
I
seconds.
think at the end of the day, what OFW really wants is just to invest their money in the right path. And I think DDC can give them by just showing you the project
Right.
and giving you a chance to have a great investment from
Okay.
your hard.
I'd like to thank you ladies for coming to our show today. And to the audience, 551-8888 is the number to reach their marketing department if you want any more information about these houses and how to work with the OFW
Check
groups.
the website.
Good day, good day.
You are what you watch.